There's a simple rule in video games: dinosaurs make everything better. And it's also true for battles in history. I'm pretty sure any kind of fight that happened would have been instantly made better with dinosaurs added to it. And Dinolords takes that idea and cranks it all the way up as you are using dinosaurs while having to deal with invading Danes, looking after your base, and, you know, all of that good strategy fun. We recently sat down to talk to Northplay, the developer of the game, to really kind of find out how you actually add dinosaurs to something like a real-time strategy game, and how you kind of make sure that it feels authentic while adding them, which is a crazy thing to say. But hopefully you enjoyed the interview, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. And hey, also you can like tell us what your favorite dinosaur is, because YouTube likes engagement. Go for it. Enjoy. Obviously you have heard the question of like why, but my question is going to be, how do you approach the idea of let's put dinosaurs in this but make it feel right? Because you're kind of juggling two things. It's like you're not mixing chocolate and peanut butter. You're mixing like chocolate and I don't know, spaghetti. Like how do you mesh that?
I think there's a lot of people that sees this for the first time. They're like, oh, it's Age of Empires with dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
But hopefully they'll come to realize that while it's a very romantic and nostalgic package, we're actually trying something new here. One of the things is the dinosaurs isn't just like flashy big units in an RTS games. We actually have like a lot of like strategically meaningful differences between them when you fight them, and Dinolords is this weird genre hybrid. We're still workshopping the genre. We're going with hack and strat for now.
Yes, I like it.
Yes. But I mean, an action real-time strategy game would probably also be fitting, where you play as the main protagonist, the Lord. You move around as you would. Casper will be playing here.
Yeah.
You move around, you know, with your WSD. You participate in battle. Like you can get hurt, you can die, you can roll out of the way, you can shoot your bow, you can fight with your sword. So in that way, that's the hack part of it, right? Everyone knows that from games like Diablo. So how does the strat part come in, right?
Well, but before we get to the strat part, I have one really important question.
Okay,
So seeing this game, seeing the trailers, reading all the stuff on Steam about it and things, my big question was, does it end if you die? Like, is that the defining like loss point?
So right now, the way that it works is that as long as your town hall is intact, you can respawn.
Okay.
But we have like a really cool little morale system in the game, whereas you will attract more villagers if they're happy. More types of amenities and food will make your villagers more happy. They're very unhappy if they see the lord get chewed up by a T-Rex.
Of course.
So you also take like an economic hit from dying. This also works really well. It's a co-op game as well as a single-player game. And we felt like it wasn't really great. Maybe we'll have a permadeath mode, like a really hard mode, but it actually didn't feel great to spend 20 minutes building up a big castle and then dying and then it's over.
I think especially like my worry was like, oh, I put all this time into making my fort up, and then the first time a T-Rex comes along, like I'm gone.
You can always respawn as long as your town hall is intact.
Which, like, that really goes back to that strategy core base of, like, that's what everyone who's played the strategy game knows. Like, you have your HQ, that's what's important.
Yeah. We're going to return to some of the gameplay here.
Yeah, by all means.
Yeah. Okay, you get it. You run around, you control the Lord. The camera's always anchored on the Lord. You never move around. You give up a little bit of that grand strategy thing from RTS. What you get is immersion. You're there with your men fighting. How do you control units, though, right? You can't just box select and place units on the map around, because action happening off screen isn't actually really fun for the player. So we made this new system where you just sort of hold down R and then just swipe over, paint over your units, and they'll come to you, right? This is your warband. We're calling it the warband mechanic. If anyone played Pikmin, it's kind of like a Pikmin whistle.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. Now they're following you around, and because you have two unit types here, archers and the swordsman, you actually have like these new abilities that showed up, like orders you can give them. Casper is going to run up here and lift the siege on Finduslarn, right? And he can basically like give orders to like shoot volleys at different units. He can also paint over them and say like attack these units here. But he can also participate in the battles himself, right? So you have like things that you recognize from from strategy games, but you also have like this immersive thing where you're fighting alongside your men.
How did you approach the game from a technical standpoint of like an action RPG and a strategy game play very differently technically from camera, from information.
Yes.
How do you approach which parts of
like,
each genre you
with
keep?
wonderful naivety, like with star-eyed, like yes, we'll just do this, right?
We can totally put these two
we can
together.
totally like put these two together, and then 1.5 years later, like we've just learned a lot, right? And it's been tricky because there's not a lot of other games that we can look at and say, oh, they solved it like this,
Yeah.
right? So when I casually mention the warband system, it's like the 5th iteration of how you control your units, because we're constantly refining on how do these two genres actually help each other, and where's the friction. And yeah, that's why that's the whole thing. So this next part is that Caswell ran into the castle.
Yep.
You have to defend the monastery in this level. There's an incoming Viking attack, and this is like, if you guys have played games like Stronghold, or
Yes, of
this
course.
is those will seem very familiar. You can place down buildings, and your workers will go there and sort of go to the stockpile and get the resources and start building it. But because you are also there, you can basically participate. You can help them build the buildings. You can also go chop down the wood, right? Every time where the two genres can help each other, like we're interfacing with that. We're also super proud of how, that's me, detail-oriented, like, but how every resource is actually present in the world. You can count the number of logs that you have in the, like at the lumber camp, and sort of instantly know, right? You can follow the log from the lumber camp to the stockpile to the Fletcher. It becomes a bow into the hands of an archer. And I kind of like that little anthill simulation of running a castle.
Playing Dinolords recently, like that's just really been great to just kind of watch your people cut down these things and drag it around. So I really, like as a strategy game, I think it's really kind of cool to have that kind of realism, but also making it work within the game world, because people always say, oh no, I want it realistic, but then forget that like that's boring.
Yeah.
Like you want 5 people to have to carry a log over this thing. You want this building to take like 3 months to build.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and we've sort of had during development, we've had this thing called the rule of cool. Like if it's cool, it goes, right?
Yes.
Of course, this is a historically accurate game, as we all know. But sometimes, like also, you know, what kind of lord do you want to be? You want to be a lord of the people who are helping chopping down wood and constructing the buildings, or are you just ordering people around?
You're giving people the freedom to choose how much strategy or how much RPG they want.
Yeah. We're not making like a hardcore hack and slash game here. We know that we're catering to some people that love the genre, grew up on it. There's a lot of nostalgia here, right?
Yeah.
And we're hoping we'll win them over and then show them some new stuff.
So, obviously, like you're mashing 2 genres together. What for you personally was the core of each genre? Like, what to you is the most important thing about a strategy game? Like, what makes a strategy game for you? What makes a hack and slash for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think it's a slightly different answer for everyone on the team.
Of course.
And a game is made of lots of people, so they'll give you, but I'll give you my answer.
I mean, we can
don't get to talk. I talk all the time. But so for me, at least, I can answer quickly. Strategy for me is managing time and resources, like assigning people, knowing that that's being done, but I have to focus over here, constantly being, it's kind of the same as being a CEO of a company, really, but constantly sort of balancing things. I mean, that's
like all of the different departments.
Yes, exactly. So I think that's really well, like you feel like this progression you're building up. That's strategy for me. Hack and slash is immersion. Like you're there, you're on the ramparts, you're fighting. It's also twitchy gameplay. Like it's, oh, I died, right? And technically, like RTS games haven't really had a lot of that.
No.
It's usually 2 groups of units smashing together, and then that's all great. We love RTS games, but we just felt like there's a lot of games being made right now that's just remaking StarCraft and Warcraft, and those games are fantastic. They've already been made, right? So we want to add something new to that whole field, and that's Dinolords.
I think it's something that people forget is that like there's so many games coming out at the moment as well that as an indie title, if you were to sit here and be like, well, we want to make a realistic medieval RTS game, it's like there are quite a few of them. Like you would have to distinguish yourself. You need that unique selling point, and even then, because there's so much noise, you can pour your heart into this and unfortunately not go anywhere, and it's dangerous.
For sure.
And so to be able to come up with an interesting, fresh idea gives you stronger footing and be like, well, no, this is our unique take. This is our unique idea.
Yeah, and it isn't easy. Like there's definitely like you have to like
That is a big dinosaur. Sorry.
We're threading a lot of new ground here. Oh yeah, let's get back to the gameplay. So in this level, we've nursed this raptor back to health. The Lord is now riding. He's on raptor back now, which gives you immediately like just mobility advantage, right? You can easily move around units on the battlefield, kill the archers in the back. You also have special attacks when you're on the back of the raptor. Yeah, it's fun. When we realized when the trailer came out, everyone was like, "You're playing as the British, and the Danes are attacking you with dinosaurs." Everyone was like, "I want dinosaurs."
Yes, that was going to be like.
You'll get dinosaurs.
You made it so I didn't even need to ask the question, because one of the things was like, well, do you get dinosaurs?
Yes, absolutely.
And because it's a strategy game, what about things like a tech tree? What about upgrades for your dinosaurs?
I'm so happy you asked that. That's great. Basically, from strategy games, you have a tech tree. You mentioned yourself. In action RPGs have like skill trees or abilities. We're gonna merge those two and have a meta progression. So basically, you'll earn like resources in games. We'll have different types of levels. Your classic mission stuff. This is very much a survival one. You have to survive and keep the monastery intact.
Yeah.
You can imagine economic levels where you're just sort of building up, maybe delivering resources to the king or whatever, building up your village and having fun with that. Like you will earn resources between those and then upgrade accordingly, get access to new buildings, but also get access to new. We have the whole itemization system from action RPGs, right?
Yeah.
The Lord needs new equipment, so maybe you'll get a new template for a bow that your bower can build inside the level. So that's how the progression is going to work.
So the most important question. Can you name your dinosaurs?
Oh, that's a great. We have to put that in. Yeah, not right now, but it's a great. Well, people usually ask, "Can you pet the dinosaurs?" And we're gonna have that. That's definitely a thing. And naming them would be cool.
Well, I just think because they're big special units, like they're going to mean something to the player, and especially in like a hack and slash game or something like that. You name your horse, you name your animals that are with you.
That's a good point. We'll put that on the list. Yeah, whether or not how it would come across. You can die now.
No, but then it matters more,
He just
right?
lost it. Yeah. There's a T-Rex rummaging around his base.
So where can people follow you to keep up with the game?
We're doing open development. We have a Discord server for those that want to come in and follow us closer. Please, of course, wishlist the game on Steam. We do monthly updates there. We do devlogs. We have a lot of like trying to share the journey of building a game as a small indie studio. It's just Dinolords.com. That's where you get access to all the things, or the community, the social profiles, all of that. And we try to stay active on it. We're also making a game at the same time, but we are building a community. We're trying to like get people excited for like this new subgenre that we're into.
And like you already said, wishlist the game. Like
that helps a lot.
It's so important for indie games, and people always don't understand like how much it really helps and matters.
It's everything.
The
really more wishlists we get, the harder we are to ignore. That's how when we have to talk to all the business people. So.
It just gives you more leverage and more pull.
It does.
It's really
great. It really does. And it also like it's a reflection of people being excited about the idea.
Yes.
And we're trying to be like open and honest about what the game is and what isn't. And
it's the easiest way for people to give you feedback of like, we want this game.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Wishlist.
Guys, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for letting us look at these dinosaurs and check out the game.